welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is our Strength and Swings class. We might be at a slightly different live YouTube time, but we're here and we're anytime in the archive. So join us today as we continue to progress our two-handed swings endurance. We'll be building up to some sets of 10s as well as those standard get-ups. We have our bells off to the side. We'll get started with a body weight warm-up and then we'll grab the bells.
Sounds good. Let's get to the floor right away. And to do that, let's get those ankles going. So it's those knees over toes. And for more of that style, join us maybe tomorrow as we squat and plie. But right now, let's stand up tall, pushing hips through, cramping glutes, bringing the ribs down, and going always through those checklists. Then pull ourselves down again. And this time, just lift a single heel. Then place that heel down and pull the other leg off. As we do this, making sure we're not hiking those hips. So keep the stable bowl of punch. Lauren will probably use that cue later as it pertains to lunges. And maybe lift one more heel and then flat feet and push those hips through, fully cramping glutes and pulling up kneecaps. Then if we do that one more time, but this time we'll end up on the floor, knees towards over toes, then the heels casually lift, knees to the floor, and extend the hips through. Even after all these years, I still need to scooch back just that little bit to make this next move, being the hinge to all fours, nice and roomy. The hinge, the hands are flat on the floor, the elbow pits are forward, and then very gently at the head, neck, start with an extension looking forward. Then I'm going to rotate as to look towards Lauren, do a little bit of a chin nod down through the middle, and then repeat. Extension through the middle, then look the other way in a rotation, and then a chin nod back towards looking at the floor. Now, just reverse that. So look along the floor to the side, and then out towards across the front in extension, and then do the chin tuck to look back to the floor. Scrape the other clavicle or collarbone to the wall, and then back and around to the front. Let's just push through those hands and get off just for a quick second. As we'll use those wrists in the get-up, now let's just challenge the wrists going into flexion here to make more room in the shoulders and wrists. So from those gorilla-style hands, open one set of hands. Let's keep the shoulder low, being packed, elbow straight, meaning extended, and flexing over the wrist. That's a stretch. The strength is pushing into the ground to return it back up to stacked. Repeating on the other side, it's to keep the armpit low, healthy cues for the shoulder press too. And then the flexion is a stretch, and then that extension to neutral is that strength aspect. Repeat that one more time, the flexion over, straight elbow, press in the floor to stack the wrist again, and repeat one last time on the other side. Flexion is a stretch, press over the wrist, and then back to stack. Let's go back to more conventional hand shapes. And now while looking at the hands, let's do our elevating shoulder shrug, and then our armpits that pull back down. Let's shrug shoulders, but save that for Saturday when you train our handstands with us. And right now, consider pulling those armpits down throughout today's entire practice. In conjunction with the down action, it's the together. So squeeze the shoulder blades together. Conversely, just spread those blades apart, pushing along the rib cage. But again, for today's practice, let's emphasize shoulder blades together and pull down. Now let's push away the floor and shake out those wrists. From this tall position here, let's do our hips extend and keep our rib cage down. And the last move for me here, let's manipulate through that rib cage, very much like what the head neck was earlier. So with the hands across body, initiate a slight chin tuck. Then do our flexion shape going forward, keeping the hips forward. Let's do a rotation. We'll do our side bend to the back corner, up and over until the middle, and then like a candy cane, flex right through the middle, back down. Now rotate the other way, incorporate the side bend back there, and then an up and over extension to back in center. Now pull down those abdominals to support the low back as we extend the rib cage up, and then a nice rotation, inclusive of our side bend, and then that last circle shape that way to the front. And continue to pull abdominals down to support the spine as we go up and over. One last rotation to the back corner, the side bend there as well, and that last circle shape to the middle. Abs of steel, maintain your breath as you finish tall and add a little shake and wiggle. Now over to Lauren for more of those punch bowl hips probably, or something similar as part of that warm-up.
All right. Let's get those legs warmed up for our lunges because we will be starting with get-ups in no time. So let's bring one leg forward into that vertical shin position. Our back toe is tucked and our back butt cheek is squeezed with the hip extended. And just sitting like this, I feel some work through the front of that hip. So let's keep that hip extended, keep driving down that front leg without shifting forward, and just pretend to lift that back knee up off the floor. Just pretend. Ooh, and that's a lot of work. For 3, 2, and then relax. That pretend might stay pretend, but it could also become real. If it's allowed to become real, let's push forward and back, keep our cage on top of our body, and hover. And make that transition so smooth that I barely noticed you landed again. Let's try it again. Push forward and back, come to that hover position. Could we lift our front heel off the floor this time? And then put it down and land softly. And we have one more. We're going to push forward and back. We'll come up to our split stance, but maintain that vertical front shin, extending the back hip with the cheek, and then pull yourself down, soft landing. Whew. Relax that. Good thing we have a second side to do. So back toe is tucked, back hip is extended. We're driving down the front leg, and we're pushing that forward back tension, but we're staying where we are, pretending to lift the back knee. So let's pretend for 3, 2, and then relax. Now our pretend might turn to real, so push forward and back. It's so close and ready that it's just pop up, and then control it down. And then push forward and back again and pop up, and now the front heel will leave the floor and hold. Then front heel down and land. And for another, we'll push forward and back and come to that rise. Hips extended, shin is vertical, and then pull to descend. Land softly on the floor. Let's bring those knees under us. Ooh. Shake it out for a second. We'll warm up a quick shoulders, and then we'll get that bell going for our first round of get-ups. So let's stay here, and if it's okay, let's bring one leg forward to the front, back into that lunge position, either with or without that back toe tucked. For one arm circle, we're going to take the same arm as the back leg and shrug it up, and then pull it down. Take the arm straight towards your overhead. It might be overhead, it might not be, but wherever it is, let's straighten the elbow. Keep the rib cage down. And now as we start to reach the arm out to the side, the elbow pit's going to start to spin in. And we're going to rotate and rotate so our pinky ends up forward. Then let's retract that shoulder blade. Keep the cage down. Keep the arm straight as we reach into extension. Rotate it open. It comes back towards overhead. We pull it down through concrete, keeping the scapula stable. Returns to the side of our body. Shakes out. Repeats. Same thing on the other side. So from that lunge position, square up. Take your back arm, shrug up, pull down. Straight arm reach towards overhead. Keeping the shoulder out of your ear. Then from there, we'll start reaching to the back and start spinning it around. And spinning it so that our so that our pinky is facing forward. Take your blade, retract it. Keep your arm straight, reach it to the back. Keeping the shoulder low, rotate the arm open in the socket. Return it towards overhead and pull the arm back to the side. We've checked in with those lunges. We've checked in with the overhead arms. If all of those systems are a go, let's get up into our first round of get-ups.
Perfect.
We're going to start today's practice doing some half get-ups, starting with one half get-up from the floor on each side.
So we'll start in that cuddle position. Good firm grip on the kettlebell, always moments to refine here. And then from that position, a two-handed press to the back. Now that bent leg, we push through the floor and we drive ourselves to the elbow. And then we go to that tall sit, sitting tall next. Then it's a bridge and a sweep. And for right now, that's where we'll stay. And we'll sweep back through sitting tall. Find the elbow and stiff like a board or that plank position. Return to your back. 2 hands down. And a good cuddle. Lunges were burning without the kettlebell earlier, and so were those shoulders and lats without the bell on the shoulder warm-up. Practice without and refine with. Lauren, what can we do now?
We'll do the same thing on the other side. So we always start in that cuddle roll press. And then it's the hip drive with the heavy long leg. Find your hand. As we're looking at that bell, we bridge and sweep, stack shoulders. Then sweep back through, come to your elbow, and again, return to your back with control. Bell comes down, return it via the cuddle, spin yourself around again on the floor, and this time we're gonna connect 2 of those in a row. It'll still be that half get up position though.
Time under tension, and for that second round, refine something else. This time, emphasize those armpits and shoulder blade positions as we drive through the hip to the elbow. We sit nice and tall. Give the armpit a good tug down. Bridge and sweep. Same thing. Screw in the shoulder through the lat. Then sit tall. We're descending to the floor on the elbow. Now stay loaded in the sense of keeping the kettlebell off the floor and drive the hip again. Sit tall again. Bridge, sweep and hold. And then return to the tall sit. Find the elbow to the floor. I still like the 2-hand dismount, the quiet, efficient, safe, strong cuddle, and then other side for do.
Same thing. One more time. Last round of half get-ups in this manner, and then we'll get up and warm up those 2-handed swings. So cuddle, roll, press. Again, I like to say it's a hip drive and a pull on the elbow. Find the hand. Bridge, sweep, 3, 2, sweep back through. Find the elbow, push away from the elbow, return to the floor. Again, hip drive, pull, hand. When we bridge and sweep, our shoulders will be stacked over top of our wrist. We'll sweep back through, find the elbow, push away to your back, pull the bell down. We're turning it to the floor. Let's try to stand up with no hands, any way you want.
Got it.
Oh, and now it's time to warm up those 2-handed swings.
Awesome. So start by standing just behind the kettlebell with your toes touching. If you're brand new to swinging, this is a great place to start. And as we approach volumes of 10 later, maybe keep your volume a little bit lower. But from this position, let's pivot on a heel and pivot on a toe. Then the other side, pivot heel, pivot toe. Personally, I don't swing with my feet pointing forward. I swing with a little bit of turnout. So rock to find your favorite place. From here, it's a hip hinge. Hips go back, hands on the bell, and for 3 in a row, let's hike it to the groin and park. Hike it to the groin and return to the ground softly. And if we do that 3 times, let's just stand up barehanded. Check. Feel strong, feet feel rooted, core feels engaged. Now for 3, we'll do our hip extension, that full unique repetition, or what we call our stop swing. So hip hinge, grab the bell, pull it, 1 swing, quiet on the park, pull, swing again, nice straight arms, and 3rd and the final is that one. And that's to stop. That had been prior to that the hike pass. And what do continuous swings look and feel like, Lauren?
Well, let's practice those now. Let's do the number 5 here. So no putting that bell down in between the swings, and we'll practice 5 continuous. It's the hip hinge, grip tip, pull, hip drive, 1, hip drive, 2, 3, chest hike, 4, shoulders back, 5, park bell with control. Nice. Take your time, shake it out. That's a nice intro to our swings. We have another round of half get-ups. This time we'll perform those get-ups from the top down, followed by some consecutive swings. Good. So to start that get-up from the top, it means we have to press our kettlebell. We stand over top of it. We use our hinge. We pick it up and we press it. We take the leg we can touch and we drop it back. And then we open it up a quarter and do our rotation hinge. Hold, 3, 2, hand leaves floor. Square up the front leg, up to tall, bell pulls down, place on the floor, repeat on the other side. Hip hinge, zip, punched overhead, leg you can touch, step back, step open, rotate, hinge, hold, 3, 2, press through, square up, both legs, pull down, place down.
It's our favorite movement. So nice. We try to do it at least twice or maybe even more. And now this time, same movement, Get it overhead in a press, down half, come back up, down half, back up, other side. Then it's swing time. So it's a cheek clean or that nice hike to clean and a full body tension press. Narrow your stance and drop the leg. Open the windmill, hinge, hand to the floor, hold, then press the floor away and extend that trailing leg hip, square up a lunge, and tall stand. Repeat again, drop down, open, and hinge, and then push through. Stand nice and tall this time. Pull back to the rack, and then to the floor, and stand tall. A lot of work.
A lot of work.
Your time to talk now, Lauren.
Same thing other side. It starts with the hinge to the rack and then the press overhead. So again, that leg you can touch, pull yourself down in that lunge. Step open, land softly, then stack. Hips extend. We look forward as we stand up. One more time, half down. Leg you can touch. Step, rotate, hinge. Press the floor away. Extend the hip, full stand, bell comes down, and then place it on the floor. So as promised, it's time to get through quietly, especially because there's people here. We're on the second floor, you gotta keep it down sometimes. It's time to do some two-handed swings. So over the past weeks, we've started to build that endurance. Even though it's sounding a little winded here today, we worked on sets of 5 swings. Today we're going, and sets of 10. Today we're going to stick to the sets of 10. Number 1 has to look like number 10. If it doesn't, stop, quit while you're ahead. We're going to go our I go, you go pattern. So Team Ian here will go in his first set of 10 swings. We're doing 4 rounds of this right now. We'll end up doing 80 swings by the end of today's practice. 10 two-handed swings. Hips are driving through. We're extending our knees because our hips are coming forward, not just because we're slamming our knees back. We're keeping our cage down at the top, punches in the stomach, punches in the butt. Woo.
Great cues, and there's so many, so focus on one. For a couple of weeks, I've been focusing on my straight elbows. Maybe, Lauren, this one, you can focus on the breath. As those who are resting, slow down your breath. In through the nose if you can, and slow out as well. And tie those breaths to your swings for power and safety as you condition yourself.
So that was round 1. Here is round 2 of 4 here. Second set, 10 swings. Again, as we're staying loose, because we're being chill, we're taking our breath in and out our nose, we're trying to relax and catch it for our next set. Team Ian here is all power, tight at the top. It's the hips that drive the bell through, no lifting.
On those exhales in the swing, whereas you recover, force the exhale away. Rather than breathing down, deflating, stay nice and tall, nice and strong throughout. I also thought Laura was going to come punch me because she punched me last week, but I was ready for it. Glutes tight, abs tight, set 3.
Set 3 here, Team Ian. Forcing that exhale. Trying to chill my breath. As Team Ian ramps up and prepares to take double punch. Lean underneath the shield.
If you want, but maybe you need to come to our studio here in Guelph. We've online training sessions. Some things are better felt or with the benefit of a training partner by your side. Count us as your friend here. And that was 3 sets,
So
which means there's one more. Whew,
Last set for Team Ian here, set 4. And just to clarify, I always ask permission before I punch you in the butt and the stomach. We're driving those bells through. Hip power, hamstring power, core power. Bell is floating in this region, and we're just guiding it.
Different time of the day makes kettlebell swings feel a little bit differently, I think. We're still good. We're ready. It's okay to be winded, but reinforce that it is okay by slow inhales as you recover and slow exhales as well. Slow inhales to recover, then slow exhales.
So we're going to get another set of get-ups done here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do one on each side, full get up, starting from the bottom, stand up, one on each side from the top down. Okay, so when you're ready, take a little breath, come back down to the floor. We'll do one full get up on each side, starting with the cuddle, the roll, and the press. Here we go. Hip drive elbow. Find your hand. Bridge sweep. Press through. Square up. Stand tall. Reverse your pattern. Step back. Open. Rotate hinge. Sweep. Elbow. Back. One down. 3 to go. Let the bell go. Spin yourself around. Repeat on the other side.
So it's that full get up again this time. The cuddle, the roll, and the press, and firm grips on the kettlebell. Heavy through the foot, drive to the elbow. Sit tall, bridge and sweep. Now press through to get to that lunge position, leg out front, and our tall stand. Then drop down, pulling yourself with control. Opening, hinging, sweeping. Now plank stiffness in the core to return to the floor. Bring the bell down. Now barehanded, maybe even single-legged, stand up. And now.
So our next set of get-ups here will be done from the top down. This will be our last set of get-ups today. One each side. Again, we'll pick the bell up, press it, get up down. First side. Hinge, rack, press, leg you can touch. Step back lunge, open, rotate hinge, sweep, elbow, keep the bell up, come back up to tall, elbow, hand, sweep, press through, square up, both legs, pull down, hinge to place that bell down. Whew. Take a second.
Good. Last set of get-ups.
Last one.
One last press, then 2. If you want more presses, join us tomorrow. So it's the clean to the rack. Lauren's already there. Nice job, press. Now lunge and open windmill. Find the floor. Sweep to sit tall. Elbow, core stiffness as a plank. And then drive up through the bent leg hip. Tall sit, bridge and sweep. Press the floor away. Square up, stand up, pull the bell, return the bell quietly. Nailed that one. And we're just about there. I would say we're 3/4 of the way down today's practice.
I want to get mine done.
Lauren's into the swing mode. So that's 10 repetitions of swings. I feel my heart rate. Hard to talk a little bit, and that's okay. Reinforce it with slow breaths. But here we are, Lauren, looking nice and strong. Finish your big set of 10 swings. Or maybe your number's 5. But here we go for 10.
So team me in up to 10 swings. Remember what I said earlier, especially as we're getting more tired. Number 10 has to look like number 1. You're not saving power. You're not saving energy. Each swing is the same amount. We have 3 more rounds to go. Know that. Act appropriately.
This I go, you go allows us to have an equal amount of rest to work. Take your time in between, or maybe even sit out a set if you need. As you rest, it's slow breath. And as you're swinging, it's tied to it. Nice and slow, nice and heavy on those feet. I can see it. And set 2, coming on that home stretch.
So we're rounding the bend here, getting over the hump. 2 more rounds after this set. Really thinking, as you're doing these last 2 sets, you're keeping your hinge. You're reaching your hips back in every single swing. The more tired we get, the tendency is to get more rounded and shallower in our hinge position.
Form first. Maintain that form because it's safe. More reps can wait until next week. But as we see, Lauren from the side looks just as good as she does out front. And those shins are nice and vertical. The hips are nice and high. The kettlebell's connected to that power source, being the hips, avoiding that flexion shape. Set 3. Well done, Lauren. Here we go.
All right. I'm happily 10 swings away from done. Team Ian is about 16 swings away from done. So keep it tight. Check in with your partner. It's still tight. You're still breathing. I'm still strong. Good. Swinging to, that was already 10?
That was 10. One more set. One more set. So finish with integrity as we talked about. Finish like it's challenging. Our elevated breaths and the sweat factor is present here. Just making sure you feel strong and safe and encouraged to join us next week. Let's finish that last set of swings, Lauren. And I can't wait for lunch and rest after this.
So team me in. Last set of 10 here. This week, we got all the way up to 80 swings. 2 sets of 40, no problem. Get-ups in between. We had that kettlebell working almost that whole 20, 25 minutes there. So take your breath in and try to force that exhale. Nose in and try to force that exhale. Let's do that 3 more times. In and force the exhale. And in.
Following
and
Laura's
force
lead.
it out.
Staying loose.
And one more time. In and force it out. And now let's add some rows. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Hold empty for 4. In for 4. It's hard. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Hold empty for 4. 2 more. In. Hold. Out. Hold. 1 more round. In for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. This is hard. Hold empty for 4. And then relax. Always treat your fatigue in there so you didn't get as much time as recovery.
And I was taking that breath after the hold. I know it didn't sound too quiet, but I was trying to breathe slowly in. Add those simple challenges to your workout. Give yourself lots of rest. 30 minutes or less. That's all you need for a nice, efficient workout. Stick to the basics like the swing, the hinge, the bodyweight warm-up, of course. And if you like today's practice, join us tomorrow for the bar practice at usual times here at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Saturdays, no bells required, just your body weight. Join us with your favorite morning beverage for a nice warm-up, family-friendly warm-up for fitness and fun on a Saturday morning at 8 a.m.
Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out our website for our bi-weekly newsletter, our blogs, our store. As well, keep an eye out. We now have enough subscribers and enough watch time that we can have a little store online, and some new things will be coming your way. So keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, take care.
Stay strong.
And let's train soon.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.